Welcome everyone to Guy and Helmer Unfiltered, but kind of filtered. We are back this week. I'm your host, Alex Helmer, and with me is my co-host, as always, Guy. And old Guy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Alex. Amazing.
Great to hear, and it looks like you're doing well. I mean, although I know we have one person from California over here, and I know you're on the East Coast, you certainly fit that, California look, or even Florida. So,
Yeah.
great to see that new look.
Thank you. Thank you. Please.
And awesome. And with us, we have a very special guest today. He's the creator of the Real Mr. Robinson YouTube channel. Make sure to check him out if you haven't already. Linked down below. It is Alexander from the Real Mr. Robinson. Alexander, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, and I'm looking forward to getting through this show with having us both be confused on which Alex is being addressed.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it backstage, folks, but for those who don't know, for those who are here in the early days of when it was a podcast, my co-host was another Alex.
Yeah, it was two Alexes.
It was chaos as soon as we started getting more people on the show.
It was like an Alex multiverse. It was a real.
No, yeah, we were both Alex H's, so it was absolute chaos.
Oh God.
Spider-Man was nothing to us because we were already living in the Alex multiverse.
Yeah.
But
This should be
Council of Alexes.
This should be a little easier since my last name is R.
Yeah. But before we get started, Alexander, for those who don't know, kind of tell everyone what your channel is about and how it's evolved over time and what kind of movie-related content that you produce for your viewers.
All right. So my name is Alexander Robinson, as the little logo here suggests. I started reviewing movies actually nearly 10 years ago. I had an old YouTube channel where I just uploaded random stuff, mostly like Universal Studios theme park videos. And then 2012, once I got to UC Santa Cruz, which is where I went to college, I expressed interest in wanting to do movie reviews, and my roommates just said, just do it. What's stopping you? So I did. Those videos are very awkward and uncomfortable to watch, but they started getting some traction until I got a copyright strike because I tried to make. You remember those like Hitler gets angry at videos that dominated the internet?
The 9-1 from
where they just add sub. No, not from Inglourious Bastards. The one where they add the sub. From.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. They did that for Jojo Rabbit promotion.
Yeah, so I did a video I tried to make a video like that, but that got my channel a copyright strike. So I couldn't do 15-minute long videos. So I decided to create a brand new YouTube channel solely dedicated to movie reviews. And then I got noticed by a website that's no longer around called Geeked Out Nation. I was invited on to be one of their contributors for written reviews and a co-host on their old movie-themed podcast. And then did that for about 3 years and then left the site in 2016 to really focus on the actual YouTube channel. And since then, my views have been kind of like meh for like a period of time. Like it was just hundreds of views. And then at the end of 2018, I started getting a lot more subscribers. My views for videos went up. I became a member of the Hollywood Critics Association in 2019. Oh, wow. Thank you. And it's been evolving ever since. I occasionally used to put up theme park related videos on that channel, but since then, starting last year, I created another YouTube channel called The Real Mr. Robinson's Outdoor Adventures, which because during quarantine, I watched a lot of Florida vloggers because theme parks here in California were closed. So I watched like Theme Park Express, Super Enthused, Vincent Vision, and thought to myself, similar to how I watched like the Schmoes, Chris Stuckman, Spill.com, and thought, I could do movie reviews. I watched those YouTube channels and thought I could do theme park vlog. So now I've got two YouTube channels going on.
Awesome. And so correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been on YouTube since 2017, 2016?
Oh, longer than that.
Longer than that. Wow.
I get like the very first video I put up was a random like clip from the old Jaws ride at Universal Studios Florida, and that was in 2006.
Wow.
I didn't start reviewing movies until June of 2012.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, almost 10 years ago. But the official channel, the one that where it's getting a lot of traction, that started in on April 20th of 2013, aka 420.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, for those again in the audience who haven't checked out Alexander's channel, make sure to check it out using the link in the description. Check him out. Look at his, theme park channel as well. That sounds fun as well. I have to admit, I've only checked out your review videos, but I cannot wait now to check out your second channel. So, make sure you all in the audience do that as well.
Yeah, 420 was the date of my sister's bat mitzvah. Before it was like postponed, and like my uncle would make fun of him. 420, your bat mitzvah's on 420, and then JB like, leave me alone. But yeah.
A couple of my friends, whenever I mentioned that my channel was created on 420, they ask, "Were you high when you made the channel?" I just tell them, I will neither confirm nor deny that, because UC Santa Cruz is known for being more of a laid back college, and they have a massive 420 event, which I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they still do because of, pandemic.
Yeah. But let's get on to movie news now. We have a lot to talk about today. Again, a lot to talk about. We're going to start off with, off the top, some big TV news, some big releases. We don't have any big movie releases this week. We talked about Scream last week, the 355. But today, only have TV, which is good and bad, considering a lot of the TV stuff we have is pretty fun, pretty big. And then again, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It would really help us out. Like the video, stay in the live chat, ask us some questions. We will respond, or at least I hope we respond. But yeah, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to do that if you are new.
Questions, will we answer them? We're not sure.
Make sure to check that out. Make sure to check out all the other film trivia, cinema wars, all that sort of cinema-related competition we have on the channel. So now let's move on to some TV releases. First, we're going to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. Episode 4, which dropped, it drops every Wednesday, so it dropped on Wednesday. So, did we all get a chance to check out episode 4 of Boba Fett? Have we all been kind of staying up to date on Boba Fett?
No. Yeah, I mean, I saw episode 3, but then what happened was we switched providers this week, and so I just got kicked out of Disney Plus. I'm gonna watch it though, but yeah, you can say whatever you want, because episode 3 really disappointed me. So I'm just kind of like, go ahead.
Alexander?
I saw episode 4. I feel like so far, I'm saying this now, the even numbered episodes are probably the better ones, because the first episode, I didn't dislike the first episode. I just thought it was okay. Episode 2 was a better step in the right direction. Then episode 3 had some good stuff in it, but probably had the worst car chase I have seen since Godzilla Raids Again. And if you're a Godzilla fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about in the audience. It's this one was a little better. I'm not particularly fond of the flashback segments, but because I don't like when Star Wars has to go into detail to explain certain elements. I like to have an air of mystery, but to see Boba Fett and Fennec Shan team up to try to get Slave One out of Jabba's palace, and then it was cool. I like that team up, and it's a nice substitute for not seeing Jango Fett and Zam Wesell do stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's kind of a cool parallel there. So we talked about episode 3 last week. I was not fond of it at all. That episode is called Vespas Assemble, so you can guess what my main dislike was of that episode. This episode, I was expecting better. I mean, the bar was set really low, but I was expecting better because a lot of people are saying, hey, it is better than the third episode. And is it better than the third episode?
I think so.
Sorry, I was muted for a sec. Is it better than the third? I mean, I guess so, I think. But at the same time, I didn't find myself particularly enjoying this episode. Number one, Boba Fett just seems all cohesively doesn't come together. It doesn't feel like it has an end goal. And a lot of that is because, Alex, you pointed out, the flashbacks are very distracting. They slow and I find myself, the flashbacks, they're not awful, but I also find myself wanting to see more of what the present day Boba Fett looks like.
I feel that as well, except I do think that this show does have an end goal, and that's with the Pike Syndicate.
Yeah, the Pike Syndicate. But even with that, it's like, in the Clone Wars, the Pike Syndicate were like
kind of a joke.
They were a joke, yeah.
I mean, that's the
when
thing,
we
the
got
Pike-
that terrible like Ahsoka, and then with like the Mendez sisters
I mean,
storyline, it was like
I actually
weird.
like
Okay.
that storyline. I won't disagree with people that don't like it, but I think it
Yeah.
adds
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Thank you for that.
I think it adds a lot of clarity to Ahsoka's view of how kind of corrupt the Jedi Order is.
Yeah.
And just how they really
Yeah.
they're like cops where they just don't care in the slightest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't find myself caring about the Pike Syndicate. The whole spice thing, it was just already done in the Clone Wars, and they didn't make me care about them then. And then what I was gonna say as well is that there's one scene in this episode that really I thought was just jarringly weird. So, Guy, I'm gonna spoil it real quick.
That's
and I don't
fine. That's
think you
fine.
care. The scene where Boba Fett goes back and tries to kill the Sarlacc to try to get his armor, right? That scene, didn't it seem like really awkward to you?
Okay, I have two things about this. One, I don't understand why he went back, because I feel like he was conscious when those Jawas just.
Yeah, he looked like he
took
was
his
at least
armor.
half
Yeah.
asleep. So,
Yeah.
like, he was a little bit like, huh?
That's true. It didn't make sense for him to go back. That being said, again, spoilers, Guy.
It's fine.
Dropping a seismic charge inside the Sarlacc pit is kind of a nice FU.
It was cool.
Like, so, Boba
wait.
Fett just gets that big FU moment to the Sarlacc pit.
Wait, guys doing. No, but wait, I have a question. So didn't he, when he climbed out, he was wearing the suit? He was conscious. He was wearing the suit. He even had a tube in his mouth from the suit.
Yeah.
So you're telling me he thought that while he was out of the pit, the Sarlacc pit, he had a distance from the pit. The Sarlacc pit, he believes, took his armor.
Hey man, when you're being slowly digested for thousands of years, you start hallucinating.
It's like a month.
At the same time, I just found the scene awkward because it's like he's trying to fit his ship into the Sarlacc pit, and the way he was doing it, I was like, this is like really weird and like awkward. Why is he
of course
doing
it's
this?
weird when you're shoving a ship in a giant sand vagina. I mean, what are you going to expect? Sorry, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah. It was. I just found it like the way he was trying to fit the ship in the Sarlacc pit and the entire planet. Even if the armor was there, it's like, really think you're gonna find it there? You know how much is in there? And even so, it's like trying to fit the ship. Oh, it was really like weird. And then the seismic charge thing was cool. I don't find myself
cool.
particularly caring about Fennec Shan. This episode was the most we've gotten from her, but at the same time, it's still very little, which says a lot about how little they try to kind of develop the character. I just find her really boring. I'm gonna be honest. I don't find myself caring about the character, even with the brief characterizations that they give to her.
You didn't like her in the Bad Batch?
I did like her in the Bad Batch, actually. I liked her more in the Bad Batch than I did in any of the Mandalorian or Boba Fett. And
interesting.
She was cool in the Bad Batch, and that to me the best. I think my favorite part of the Bad Batch was when she fought Cad Bane. Yeah, that to me felt like it was the highest stakes thing in that entire.
I expected Cad Bane to be in this show, and maybe he will be, but
we still got 4 or 5 more episodes.
Isn't it 6 episodes only?
I don't think so.
I hope it's 8. I hope it's 8 total, or like 9.
Let me look that up. But I would say like one of my big problems with some of the MCU shows is that I feel like some of them, like Hawkeye, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Loki, as much as I enjoy them, I feel like 6 episodes is probably too short for them.
Yeah.
So Luke said 7. So we have 3 more episodes.
Okay. So it looks like they're about to round things up. And I was worried that this was going to have 9 episodes. I'm like, maybe this is a series that would have benefited from 6. But 7's a good bargaining.
Yeah. I mean, you're right with the MCU ones. Because like,
it's more than Hawkeye. And how many did Falcon Winter Soldier have? 6?
6 as well.
Falcon Winter Soldier had 6. Falcon Winter Soldier was, pretty. I mean, I enjoyed it, but
I'm just and then there was the entire scene where they continued the Tatooine thing of like putting young people on Tatooine, and they had like a club, and they had like And then the scene where they fix Fennec Chan, where he like brings her to the guy who fixes her. They have like pop music going in the background. It's like and then they're like fixing her, and it looks like something out of like Alita Battle Angel or like Blade Runner. And I'm like, oh, this is not. This is not.
I mean, Robert Rodriguez is a producer on this, so
yeah,
you got to bring.
No, yeah, you're right. But yeah, my again, I don't hate Book of Boba Fett. I loved episode 2 more than most people.
Episode 2 was great.
It was.
I agree with Guy. Guy said something interesting. Last episode, when they killed off the Sand People, it kind of took away the emotional core of the show for me.
We don't call them Sand People.
The Tusken Raiders. Raiders.
Oh, God, no. That's not what. No.
There you go.
Jesus.
But the Tusken Raiders, the scene when they killed it all.
I'm sorry, Tusken Raiders.
They were the emotional core of the show for me, and the only kind of connection I had to it. And that goes back to episode 2, when you had that connection between Boba Fett and the Tusken Raiders. And so taking that away from me made me kind of care a lot less for Boba Fett's main mission. I don't know if you guys would agree or disagree.
I agree with that 100%. I felt like it just so quick.
I don't know. I kind of agree, because I mean it's cool that these live action shows are making the Tusken Raiders to be more human. But at the same time, I just find myself bored with the flashback stuff.
Yeah,
I get it.
So it's kind of a mixed bag.
Favreau loves his Tusken.
And then the scene with I'm forgetting his name, the Wookiee bounty hunter. What's his name?
Oh, Black Chrysanthemum.
Okay, I'm just gonna call him Wookiee bounty hunter because I'm not gonna remember that.
Wookiee number 2.
But the scene with him in this episode, and I'm glad they brought him back, because I do want him to be part of Boba Fett's crew, and that's definitely what they're building towards. With Fennec Chan saying that we need like more muscle, and but the scene where he was in, I don't know, Alexander, what you thought of it. I found it kind of awkward. I found the girl who was talking to him was talking for too long, and like what she was talking to him about was just trying to explain to us why, like, his relationship to Tatooine and the entire like society circulating around like this place. And then I don't even know why he was mad at the
at the Trandoshans.
I'm trying to remember the race, Trandoshans. Why he was so.
I mean, the reason it's purely a historical thing.
Because Wookiees and Trandoshans have like a really ugly.
Oh yeah, no
history.
Wasn't that like an arc where the Trandoshans were like killing people? Like
they were kidnapping
wild and then kill. Yeah, exactly.
They would kill Wookiees. It was kind of their big.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the Wookiees were Dutch and his crew from Predator, then the Trandoshans were the Predators.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that this Wookiee bounty hunter is basically racist, because he's basically saying every Trandoshan ever is going to kill me, and he's going to kill the people that look like me. And so when he tore that guy's arm off, I'm like, whoa, he did nothing to you. He was just playing cards, having a fun time with his friends there, and you rip his arm off.
He existed.
I mean, that was fan service, because we always wanted to see a Wookiee rip someone's arm off.
Yeah, but we saw Chewbacca do that in Solo, so
that's true.
Yeah.
We already did that. Whatever.
But that's gonna end it for this segment on Book of Boba Fett. Make sure you tell us in the comments below, what did you think of episode 4 of the Book of Boba Fett? We have 3 more episodes to go, so still time for in terms of me, for my opinion to turn around. So, and I hope so. But we're gonna move on now to episode 4 as well of Peacemaker. So, Guy, I know you saw this one. I'm going to let you start off. What do you think of episode 4 of Peacemaker?
I loved it. I love every episode of this show. This show cannot do anything wrong. I think it's, at least so far. I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed just everything about it. I loved seeing the crew, like kind of without Peacemaker for quite a bit of this. And I just... There was a really interesting twist at the end, which I really enjoyed, and I want you guys to talk, because I just cannot say enough great things about this. Also, I love the fact that this show really does expand the DC universe in a way very successfully, and they'll name drop characters that have never even been in the movies. Like this week, it was like they pretty much confirmed that like the Riddler and Mad Hatter exist in this universe. And I was like, that's so cool. Because, like, you have even more. And they expand the DC universe. James Gunn keeps expanding it. I love the interactions between Peacemaker and the old man, the old neighbor. They're just amazing. Oh my god. Those are like the best scenes. They kill me every time. I couldn't believe he said, "You dementia infected." I was like, Jesus Christ. That was so painful. It's like,
all right.
It's great.
We'll come back to you, Guy. Alexander, what do you think of episode 4?
I dug it a lot. Like Guy, I've been loving this show so far. It's really the best thing the DC Extended Universe has made next to the Suicide Squad.
Exactly. It's like everything James Gunn does. It's just
I will say though, some of the name drops felt a little weird because of how DC and to an extent Zack Snyder have kind of screwed everything up. It's like we're never going to see these versions of these characters in this universe. I mean, Batgirl.
That was the White Dragon thing was also very.
Which I know that's in the comics, but you couldn't get any more obvious of like a supervillain name. Like to quote Troy from Community. That dude is hardcore racist, like 1800s Disney
I think the name is so obviously like it's that's what makes the joke work because the White Dragon. That sounds like you know, like the Grand Wizard. Like it sounds like one of those like stupid like
horrible thing. I mean, but I like the fact that they showed the suit. I thought that was I loved that scene because it really showed like I could tell Peacemaker was even kind of nervous when he was looking at it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, man, I know he's a supervillain. I know that name is racist as shit, but he's my dad.
He's my dad. Yeah.
I mean, I really like this show. This might be my favorite episode, honestly.
I loved Vigilante.
This gave the most. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. This gave the most depth to Peacemaker out of any episode. Like this is the first episode where like I really felt for the guy. And I really felt kind of the complexity and all the emotions there. And they showed the backstory also, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And then Luke put it in the chat, but Vigilante. Exactly. Oh my god. He's the best character in the show. He is so funny.
That scene in prison, the way he's like, let's all sit down. Talk about black people contributing to society. I was like,
it was so funny.
Kick some ass,
in the scene where he's talking to God, what's the girl's name? His like Amanda Waller's daughter.
That's not. Is that her daughter?
Yeah, that's Amanda Waller's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't make that connection for some.
Yeah, they talked about it in the when they were on the Zoom call.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I forgot her name, but when she was having that conversation with him, and and then she was like, "Oh, you're a vigilante." He was like, "No," and she's like, "Well, you have the same voice," and he like changes his voice. And then there's a scene later on where Peacemaker comes out of jail and he's like, "Where's Vigilante?" And she was like, "That was Vigilante." Her comedic timing is just awesome, and Vigilante himself, he is so fun. His voice itself, and he seems like a comic book, like an anime, like a Harley.
Oh my god, it's amazing! But it's amazing the choices in this show, like the way. This is what I love about Gunn is he embraces the crazy. He doesn't care how nuts a superhero, supervillain costume will look on screen, and when he puts them in there with those acting choices and those characters, it's just amazing, especially Vigilante because of just his voice.
Yeah, which I gotta say, in terms of that actor, Freddie Stroma, this is one of the reasons why I'm very jealous of the British because they can nail American accents.
No way, he's British.
He is. British? He was.
Wow,
that's pretty cool, man.
He was Cormac in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
I'm not remembering who Cormac is, but
in Harry Potter Half-Blood Prince, he's the one that tries to fall in love with Hermione Granger. Like during the Quidditch tournament or Quidditch tryouts.
I'm looking up. Okay, yes, I remember. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, it took me until this episode to realize, oh, this is the same guy. Damn, the British are good.
He reminds me of Jonathan Groff a lot. Like he looks like Jonathan.
Oh yeah, he does. He does.
Except I'm sure he doesn't have the singing ability, but he definitely has the acting ability. I love the character. He's hilarious, and just I can't wait to see his continue his antics in prison. And
I love how they
yeah,
keep
but...
beating the shit out of Judo Master. It's like this guy is like, it's so funny. Every episode, like they just beat the crap out of Judo Master, and it's so funny.
Guy brought it up, but that scene with the neighbor, it felt like because Gunn was making fun of the whole Batman concept, which a lot of people, like we included, because we're all superhero comic book fans. We talk about the Batman dilemma, and so the fact that he talked about it, he was like, how many people has Batman indirectly murdered? Putting murders in jail and then have them escape and murder more people.
Yeah,
it was so funny. I was like, oh my god! Like,
I mean, that's
John,
always,
you son of a bitch. You've
that
done
really
it.
has always been the case, like that unspoken truth. Because I mean, if you remember the Dark Knight during the big chase scene, the tumbler crashes into a truck. That driver didn't make it out alive.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you play Arkham Knight. Whenever you accidentally run into people in the Batmobile, it's like there's like an electric.
It's not accidentally with me.
Well, it's like they put a barrier on the Batmobile. It's like, oh, those people just got shocked and pushed out of the way. It's like, no, those bastards are dead.
They wanted us to use the Batmobile. We're going to use the goddamn Batmobile.
Exactly. Most people play Spider-Man and swing around to like ease their mind. I run over people in Arkham Knight to ease my mind.
These are the small things in Arkham Knight, like when he jumps from a gargoyle and like puts his knee on someone's head. It's like, okay, no, that person's dead. But anyways, this episode of Peacemaker, really good. I love the crew as well, like the whole family, like the adorable.
It's amazing.
Kind of
well, that's so James Gunn.
Yeah, he's so good at I mean, going back to Guardians.
So
but anyways, that is it for Peacemaker. Tell us, everybody, the comments. Tell us, what did you think of that Peacemaker episode 4? How many episodes are there?
There's 8.
7. 8. One more than
so
Boba
we're
Fett.
halfway there.
Halfway there, yes. And yes, great show so far. Can't wait to see it continue. As we move on now to our big topics, the big news that we've sort of encountered over this week in film news. First, we're going to talk about the big trailer that released. The trailer for the next MCU TV show, Moon Knight, dropped on Monday. Alexander, I'll go to you first. What did you think of the trailer for Moon Knight?
It looked good. I mean, I don't know that much about Moon Knight from the comics, so in my mind, I'm thinking a couple things. One, what kind of accent is Oscar Isaac doing? Because it's really hard to hear what he's saying. But I do like the look of it. It looks like it's taking the MCU into a more darker route.
Yeah.
And also, like, at this point in the MCU, it's like I have so much trust in them, even with some of their fumbles, that I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt with anything they put out. So
yeah, for sure.
Not May. March 30th, is it?
Yes, late March.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I mean, some people told me I've not been about 7 hours. I'm waiting until the show drops before I can actually say if I'm a fan or not. Because again, I don't know this character from the comics. But it looks cool. It looks really cool.
Guy?
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm like a semi Moon Knight fan. Like I've not really read much of the comic book stuff, but like whenever I see him in like a animated show, I'm like, oh, that's Moon Knight. That's pretty cool. I mean, the trailer was decent. It was pretty good. It's not something that I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to run to see Moon Knight as soon as possible. A lot of my friends were like texting with me and they're like, this is going to be the best Marvel show ever. And I'm like, did you see Daredevil? They said no. And I'm like, then shut up. And then just like, oh no. But like, I mean, I'm semi excited. I agree with you. I did not expect that accent coming out of his, because actually I'm pretty sure, I mean, I might be wrong, but guys, I'm half. I'm semi Moon Knight fan, but Moon Knight, I'm pretty sure is like doesn't use a British. I mean, at least in the shows I've watched.
Oh wow, I did not know.
Which
I
is why I was
that he had a British
why
accent.
is he using a British accent?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is he's part of the modern Defenders, so I imagine that, and that was the other thing. I really wanted to see Moon Knight in the Defenders show, but that never worked out. But I'm a little. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited that they're kind of tapping into darkness. I'm excited to see Ethan Hawke in this show. I'm really excited for all of it. but not to the extent of best superhero Marvel show ever.
Alexander, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like in terms of that accent, my friends from Late to the Party have said that the accent will he'll be doing different accents throughout the show.
Yes, because he has multiple.
Really?
Because here's the thing about Moon Knight. This is what's so fascinating about Moon Knight. Moon Knight is a guy with split personality disorder. So he's got multiple personalities rolling around his head, and he's insane. And it's a really intriguing concept. So I guess
I did not know that. So you think he's gonna different accents? You think he's
Well,
gonna do
'cause
like
if you-
Italian? One day he's gonna show up and he's gonna be Italian. One day
Yeah,
it's
so
gonna be
there's a
Russian.
scene in he's British in one thing, and then like he's Mark Spec. So there's a scene in the trailer where he gets a phone call and it's like, Mark, is that you? I thought you were dead. That's another personality. That's the Mark Spector personality, which I think a lot more people are familiar with. I'm more familiar with Mark Spector from the comics, that version of Moon Knight.
Good input, guy. Very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That clarifies a lot. So
no, he's really. It's a weird character. He's got a cool suit, but like he's very intriguing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the trailer. I thought it was okay. I like that the MCU is going in kind of a different direction with the
show. I
like
the end when he leaped off the building.
It did not.
It was very Batman reminiscent. I just like that.
It didn't look like an MCU show. It didn't feel like an MCU show. It kind of looks like a Fox TV show, kind of. Actually, no, not even. Just like a HBO maybe. Netflix just anything but Marvel, which is like really cool. Yeah. No, I really dug it for the 2 seconds that we got Moon Knight. Ethan Hawke's in it, which is cool. He kind of has that Morbius look, like like the white and then the cane. He kind of has that Jared Leto Morbius look. The more you think about it.
Yeah.
He's also doing an accent, which is kind of interesting. And Ethan Hawke is going to be in this movie called The Black Phone later this year, where he plays a serial killer. Yeah. And in this movie, he also looks pretty creepy. So, and it's cool to see him in it. The accent thing you clarified with me. That was the only question I really had about it.
Yeah.
We covered this earlier, one of the previous shows, but this was actually the same image that we got.
I know when I saw that in the trailer, I was like, holy crap.
You said you didn't like the costume when we covered this image leaked, and this was the image at the end of the trailer. I really think the costume is awesome.
I still think
you said it looked like toilet paper.
I still think it looks like toilet paper.
But that's like the thing. Like that's Moon Knight.
No, it's not.
But isn't the show like set in Egypt?
Exactly. It's an Egyptian god who
I guess that's fair.
God.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And by the way, that god thing, I don't know the name of it because I forgot, but it looks pretty creepy. And he was like beating the crap out of it at the end of that trailer. I don't know. He, she, I'm just gonna call it it because it looked really creepy. But Moon Knight. Is this the most excited you've been for a Marvel TV show, or are there any other shows that kind of rival it in that sense?
What, me?
But you can go first, and I'll go to Guy.
I guess for me, when it comes to the MCU, I enjoy the follow-ups to characters that have already been established, but I more or less like to see newer characters, characters that I'm not too familiar with, like Shang-Chi, like Moon Knight. Honestly, I'm probably in the minority of people that's really looking forward to Ms. Marvel.
Okay.
I think that character is I know a bit about her in the comics, and I think that character basically has a lot of potential.
Mm-hmm. And Guy, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for this. I think it's kind of weird the way my excitement has gone with these shows, with the trailers and me initially seeing them. I guess it kind of matches with my hype for like a WandaVision or a Falcon Winter Soldier kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm not sure it's the most. I think Loki was the most excited I've been. Maybe
Loki was the one.
WandaVision was the first one, so maybe
Loki
that
was kind of the most ambitious, and I liked that.
But and do you guys think that there be any other kind of already established or soon to be established characters in the MCU that will show up, such as you mentioned the Defenders, so perhaps Daredevil we know is showing up in She-Hulk. Maybe perhaps Blade is the one that I'm hearing from people.
I don't know. For me, after Infinity War and The Last Jedi, I've kind of pulled back on fan predictions or speculation, especially after the whole Mephisto debacle with WandaVision. I'm just like, you know what? I'll just
never forget.
I'll just sit back and just whatever the show does, I'll take it at face value. Either I like it or I don't like it.
Mephisto guy.
I mean, I agree with that, but then I think about Spider-Man No Way Home, and I just think, oh, anything is possible. Okay, they put Daredevil in that. All right, spoilers. If you haven't, you've seen it.
But that also,
everyone's seen that.
But that pretty much every secret of that, most of the secrets in that movie got leaked. So either got leaked or people predicted it ahead of time.
People predicted it ahead of time.
Yeah. But anyways, now we're going to move on to the next big topic, the Batman. We got news as well as the official theme that was released, but more importantly, we got the runtime revealed, which was 2 hours and 55 minutes.
Yeah,
Jesus,
I was watching
Batman.
a lot of Batman. I was watching I won't disclose what podcast it was, but it was a podcast. Actually, I'll disclose it. It's fine. The John Campea show, and Campea was talking about how he knows someone who has seen the movie, who works for Warner Brothers, who talked about how the studio isn't just thinking good movie or bust; they're thinking Oscar nominations or bust. So, which is a really, really good sign.
It's intriguing.
I'm just gonna say it again. This is the most anticipated I've been for any movie in my entire life, just due to my love for the character of Batman, is unparalleled compared to any other character, fictional character, and the vision that Matt Reeves is going with is exactly what I would do. The murder mystery angle is, I'm a sucker for murder mysteries, and the fact that he's going with that, the detective side of Batman, the noir aspects, is something that's never been done before. The side of Batman that I've always wanted to see on the big screen. So, but the runtime, Alexander, how do you feel?
Well, I guess I'm in a slightly different camp because I like a lot of aspects about the Batman, like Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, what's her name?
Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz, thank you. There's a lot that I like about the Batman going into it, but I feel like Batman, there's so much that's already been done with this character. Even if they're going with a more like film noir style, it's like, okay, we already seen Bruce Wayne. We've already seen him do some detective stuff. It's like, I'm a little tired. I'm just a little Batmaned out, honestly. He's just too overexposed for me. And after the Snyderverse, I'm just that certainly didn't help. But I mean, 2 hours and 55 minutes, huh? I think for me, as long as it's two things, as long as it's a good movie, or great movie, the runtime really shouldn't be a factor. And as long as we don't see his parents die again, because I swear to God. I mean, I have enough faith in Matt.
It's gonna happen.
Won't do it.
If it's 2 hours and 55 minutes, it will happen.
I have enough faith in Matt Reeves that he won't do that. But really, after like Snyder doing that, I'm like, we've seen this already. And when Todd Phillips did it in Joker, I'm like, we've seen this already. God damn it! Stop it.
But Zack Snyder gave Thomas Wayne a mustache, which was something I was like,
and
let's go, comic accuracy. Mustache, Thomas Wayne.
Guy, what are your thoughts on the runtime?
I'm so excited. I mean, everything I hear about, I read every piece of Matt Reeves' interview on this movie, and the way he talks about this character and the way he talks about the mythology of Batman is so intriguing to me. And I listened to the single in that they released of Michael Giacchino's score, and I was amazed by it.
It was amazing.
It was really beautiful.
Oh yeah, that music. Two things. One, I really like the atmosphere and the tone that score is setting, but also I'm so happy to finally get away from that Zack Snyder, Tom Holkenborg sound that Batman has just been with for almost 20 years. It's like I'm finally. I mean. The Dark Knight scores are great. They're fantastic scores, but what they did with the Ben Affleck Batman, Batfleck, it's like this is not really an original sound for Batman. We've heard this already. Let's do something new.
Yeah,
and Michael Giacchino did just that.
And the theme as well. I was talking to Guy about it as well. It represents the complexity of the character. You know, it's not just the main.
Oh my God! Cool, it shows
cool,
every
like dun,
emotion.
dun dun dun. Like it's not like the awesome thing that we've heard already from the trailers.
It's not like a Danny Elfman.
Yeah. What surprised me was that earlier on, like maybe a minute 30 through, where they started, it was more emotional. It seemed like an epic, which also combined with the runtime makes me think that this is going to be an epic comic book movie. It's not going to be, just not like Zack Snyder epic as in big city landscape, grand scale
spectacle.
Like I've heard like stuff about, political commentary in the background. So yeah. And then the fact that Batman's character, you have so much going on with him. The fact that Matt Reeves commentated on like the Kurt Cobain influence makes me think that this is going to be a character who's going to get a lot of development throughout. And he's going to, especially because we've seen that he's not a mature Batman. Like this guy's close, this is like very close.
This is like year 2 Batman.
Yeah. What I specifically love is, I think this is my favorite Matt Reeves interview, was that he said, and this made me feel so confident in this movie, was the fact it really seems like he's not going to kill any of these villains. The first real big Batman interview he did, he said, this is Riddler before he's the true mastermind of crime. This is Catwoman before she's like the masterclass thief. This is the Penguin before he's the huge crime boss.
That's true.
And what I love about that is the fact that he is essentially saying, as these movies go on, they fill in like the mythology of those characters. And I love the way he talks about all of that comic book history that's embedded in every character.
And then we already know we're getting more, but the runtime only solidifies that there's going to be more of the Batman coming soon, which is awesome.
It also,
I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm just
but it's also like that 2 hour and 55 minute mark makes me so intrigued, because those trailers, you think, oh wow, they showed a lot, and this makes me think, oh, they haven't even scratched the surface, and it just makes me re-puzzle the movie in my head, and I love that.
I mean, Warner Brothers is, in terms of their marketing, they're not Universal or Sony, where they pretty much tell you the whole movie in the trailer.
No, and I love that.
Like, so in my opinion, Sony's been better, because with Ghostbusters and Spider-Man, it's like they basically spoil the movie without spoiling the movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like with Spider-Man, it's like we know Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to be in it, but they don't show it.
Exactly.
Universal is just like, we don't care at all. We're just going to show cars swinging like Tarzan. We're going to show Tyrese and Ludacris going to space. We don't care at all.
Oh, it's not good F9 now. It's not good drift there. That'll be a long conversation, Alexander. We don't want to drift there.
You don't want Tokyo drift there?
There it is. But that'll do it for this big story. Now let's move on to our last big story. We weren't officially going to talk about this when we were making the agenda for the show, but then it popped up yesterday that Mission Impossible 7 and 8 have been delayed again, this time to 2023. The only thing I can say about this one is that God help that crew when they see Tom Cruise on set.
I know. It's like, oh shit.
And they didn't listen to the man. They didn't listen to him. Everybody was like, when that stuff came out about him yelling,
that was funny.
People were like, who was right? Tom Cruise was right.
That's the thing. It's like, this isn't a Christian Bale thing where it's like,
you look at me.
Well, it's like, it's with Christian Bale, it's like your ego is clearly showing. With Tom Cruise, it's like, this guy's worried for the crew's safety. As somebody who worked on a show during the pandemic pre-vaccine, it's like
that's
like
true.
The industry takes this seriously. So he has every right to yell at the people who do not take these COVID protocols seriously.
Of course.
Yeah,
but he's about to bitch slap every single boom, 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 boom.
This is sad. This is sad. I'm sure you guys, I'm a huge fan of the Mission Impossible movies, especially because it's not like the sixth one. It's not like Where We Left Off was bad. Where We Left Off was, the best movie in the franchise. And so I've been patiently awaiting. You did.
I like Ghost Protocol more.
Okay, I like Ghost Protocol, but you can't go wrong with that.
Fallout's a close second.
Yeah, but yeah, it sucks, especially because this is not the first time it's been delayed. So it's like it's getting delayed, and then we're closer to the movie. It's like, okay, we're actually going to get the movie, and then it's delayed again. So the movie keeps beating us down, and it's like all I can think of is that this movie better be good. But at the same time, it's sad. And
I mean, at least we got Top Gun this year still.
Yeah, Top Gun. I just don't love the original Top Gun compared to Mission Impossible, where it's like several good movies in a row of good buildup.
I mean, they had a rocky start. Like 1 was underwhelming and 2 was terrible, but 3.
I haven't seen 2 actually for that reason.
Oh, 2 is Yeah, 2 is just really atrocious.
Yeah,
but,
I've heard.
But once J.J. Abrams came in, he set things straight, and then each movie's just gotten better from there on.
Yeah, for sure. And Guy, your final thoughts on the delay?
Eh.
You're not a fan of the franchise? What?
I mean, I don't care. I mean, I like those, but like, I'm more excited for Batman. Sorry.
Okay. All right, Alexander, just you and me now. No,
All right.
All right.
Look,
now
I'm sorry.
We're going to move on now to the final segment of the show, Buy or Sell, in which we're going to talk about several smaller news topics in the world of movies that occurred over the last week. We're going to talk about if we would buy those topics or sell those topics. Yeah. We actually have a bigger series of topics than we have over the last couple of weeks. It's been kind of slow for Buy or Sell, Guy, last couple of weeks.
Definitely.
But we've actually have some good stuff here.
Yeah, so, it got to the point we were worried we were going to have to buy or sell deaths. Because there's so many.
Yeah. All right. So the first top. Oh, wrong one. First topic we're going to talk about. Daniel Radcliffe has been casted to play Weird Al Yankovic in a Hulu. Can't remember if it's a miniseries or a movie, but something on Hulu. Is anybody here a Weird Al fan? And is anybody?
When I was 10.
I'm still a Weird Al fan.
So, talking to the right guy, Alexander, what are your thoughts on the casting?
I feel like it's right up Daniel Radcliffe's alley because it seems like most movies that he's done after Harry Potter, he tries to go for the weirdest projects imaginable, like Swiss Army Man, Guns Akimbo,
Weird Frankenstein movie.
We don't talk about that.
I know. But like I said,
he's not afraid to pick really obscure and, again, for lack of a better word, weird projects. So him playing Weird Al Yankovic, I couldn't imagine anyone better. And again, these British do a damn good job with like acting, so he'll be fine.
Guy?
I mean, this is weird. No pun intended. This is just fucking, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, look at this guy. Look at Weird Al Yankovic. They don't even look alike. Okay, I don't know.
I mean, honestly.
They have different hair, so that's not really a fair comparison.
Look at the face. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I love Daniel Radcliffe, so I'm gonna buy it, but just it really feels like they're making movies about everyone now. No offense, but it is.
Well, I mean, Weird Al's look, like back in the 80s and 90s, was very different from what it is now. So I feel like
that is true. I mean, he had the little mustache, the little pencil mustache, and
so I think Daniel Radcliffe could be younger Weird. Like he looks like a younger Weird Al. If you,
I'm intrigued by it. I'm intrigued. I want to see him do Amish Paradise and stuff. So.
I'm going to sell this just for the sole reason is I know Weird Al Yankovic by name. I know what he does, but I've just never been into his work, so I'm kind of indifferent to the situation. But other than that, I hope you guys are excited for it. Next, we're going to talk about we're going through all your favorite topics, Alexander, as it has been announced that there are Godzilla TV series projects upcoming on Apple TV set within the Monsterverse. Alexander, what are your
buy all of it.
Oh, that's it. No.
Reason. And people who follow me on YouTube or just know me in person, like they don't need to know how excited I am for more Godzilla stuff. I mean, I like how this is something I've been talking with one of my coworkers who's also a big Godzilla fan, and it's like, man, they should do a live action series or just a series in general set in the Monsterverse. And lo and behold, they are, and it's live action. I think it could be interesting. They could go down the route to the Godzilla the series that was based off the awful Roland Emmerich Godzilla in name only movie. But that series is actually pretty cool. So if they kind of do something like that, maybe a little more serious and interconnecting, then I think this could be cool. Okay, clearly you've not seen. This is what I hate. Like, the monsters are never. If you watch a lot of Godzilla stuff, the monsters are usually never in the forefront. Like that. One of the biggest things that I hate about the criticisms that the 2014 movies had is like, oh, there's not a whole lot of Godzilla. I'm like, one of the best Godzilla movies has him on screen for about 6 minutes. So, I mean, to be fair, it's like some people maybe some people out there aren't just into Godzilla as much as I am, so they don't know. They're not as well versed. So that's fine.
Which is why I'm going to sell this topic.
Oh.
I just don't care. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, I'll buy it. It's cool. It looks cool.
I'm gonna sell just because I'm not a huge fan of the Monsterverse. I was not a fan of King of Monsters or Godzilla versus Kong. I'm more of a human characters type guy, and so I actually appreciate more the opposite of the masses. I actually prefer when they're human characters at the forefront because for me, I can connect to them more.
That's when they're at their best. Like if you go that extra mile with the human characters, like that's good. But it's like if the human characters are just kind of there, it's like okay, you got to at least deliver with the monster stuff. And
no, but you can do both. It's not like an either or. It's not like you have to have bad human characters in order to show
but
the monsters at the forefront.
I know, but if you can't do one, at least deliver on the other. And for me, King of the Monsters didn't really do that because the monster scenes were filmed in a way where it's like this is too close up.
I love the cinematography in both movies. I think visually they're great.
But Godzilla versus Kong definitely delivered in my eyes.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. I guess I'm more on the side of Luke here. I'm more because again, like I'm not a big fan of monster movies overall. Just because, look, like my point before, the human in order to make the monsters, in order to show them on the screen, in order to show the cool fight scenes, that doesn't mean that you have to just not care at all for the human characters. And so I feel like you can do both in the same movies, and we've seen it been done before. I mean, there are good monster movies out there. I used to have a poster of American Werewolf in London, which was made in the 80s, one of the best monster movies ever made. And it did both very cohesively, and they developed the characters very well with, good dialogue as well. So, and the whole world building within the monster universe is good. The cinematography is good. The fight scenes and the development of kind of the monsters is good. But without that core human element, which is the most connectable element for humans ourselves, for me, I just find it kind of lacking on an emotional front. But that's just me. Again, I know a lot of people love that movie, you or the movies you included. So I will sell this. However, I hope it's really good. And if it is, I'll check it out. As we move on to the next piece of news, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. We got some kind of rumors, but also some minor confirmed things. What do we think about the news that this film will have the most MCU characters out of any other film in the MCU, or most characters out of any film in the MCU?
Bye.
I have not heard much about this, so I have could I get a discount on this perhaps?
Yes, you can get a discount. You can buy this when it's on sale.
Yeah, 50% off when we on Black Friday.
Oh, damn it! So I have to wait till this.
You have to wait a year.
All right.
You have to wait after the movie is released. That's how you have to wait.
All right. Yeah, I haven't heard. Honestly, I've been trying to stay away from these
the rumors,
the news and rumors, especially. For me, it's like if Variety, Hollywood Reporter, or Entertainment Weekly doesn't report on it, then I'm not taking it it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy?
I'm gonna buy it. I mean, it's just I'm very excited for this movie. I am so intrigued by which characters they're gonna throw in. Alex and I have talked about this, about which characters we want to see, or which particular castings we want to see.
A casting?
Yeah, well, specifically you with your Tom Cruise Iron Man.
My Tom Cruise. We were talking about it for those who aren't. We had a Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler talk. Somebody brought up the idea of Tom Cruise maybe coming back to play Iron Man like he was originally supposed to do before Robert Downey Jr. And I was like, oh my God, that would be the best thing ever, but it will never happen. But now with the recent rumors, it might happen. And again, I'm not thinking, it's not like 100% Tom Cruise is going to show up in Iron Man. But just the fact that I think maybe he could is really cool. And I feel like this movie could do a lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
I will say this, like, if I'm gonna actually give more of a definitive answer, I buy this more than not because Marvel's done a really good job throughout the years of juggling like many characters,
which is insane. But they always figure out a way to fit them all.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, one of the things that shocked me about the reception for No Way Home is when people say, "Oh man, they pulled off the impossible, juggling all these characters in one movie." I'm like, y'all saw Civil War. You saw Infinity War and Endgame, right?
Fucking Endgame at the end. It was like every character. Howard the Duck was in the final battle in Endgame. Like everyone was there.
It's like this isn't a surprise. They've done this before with more.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm hoping they bring back Seth Green as Howard the Duck in this movie. I think that would be.
You said in John Krasinski, of course. The rumors intensified with him. I know Emily Blunt's not going to be Invisible Woman, which sucks.
Because they want to bring in.
She will be. She will be. You just can't see her.
Yeah, it's like, this is my wife. Yeah. Where?
Yeah,
right here. And they're like, well, you're a nurse. You don't even have to get Emily Blunt. Can't tell if you're making her up or not.
Yeah. And Chris Evans is the Human Torch.
No, let's not go that far.
That would be so funny.
At the same time,
if you had that shitty buzz cut.
At the same time, like No Way Home brought back the Lizard, a character who wanted to turn the city into lizards.
That was
so if they can do that, I feel like they can bring back Chris Evans as Human Torch.
I mean, he was the best part about those movies. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and start looking back at those Tim Story Fantastic Four movies with with a positive view, because they were not good. The only thing
bring back everyone's favorite Josh Trank's fan Forstick.
That's the thing I was going to say. The only excuse you have to call those Tim Story movies good is if you look at them in comparison to the
Josh Trank's Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the trailer seems like it's already juggling a lot. Like they already have Wanda coming back. They have Dr. Christine Palmer. They have
America Chavez.
America Chavez. Christine Palmer. That's a reference. But they had already seen, and Baron Mordo's coming back. Of course, they still have Wong. So it looks like they're juggling a lot.
And Shuma Gorath is in there.
Oh yeah, is that the big
the giant squid?
Yeah, and so it's interesting to see if they're gonna do like a No Way Home thing where you see like the characters coming through, or if they do an Endgame thing where it's portals or whatever, how they bring people through. This movie's gonna be insane, and I didn't think I'd be excited for a movie after Endgame. So excited about a movie after Endgame as I did. I think this is actually might beat No Way Home for my excitement, just because with No Way Home, I guess there was a lot. The leaks.
It's not beating my intensified. I'm sorry.
With No Way Home, the leaks intensified to a point where I kind of expected stuff to happen.
It's cool.
Doctor Strange, like there's no news that's coming out about.
I am hoping though that they bring in who's playing Kang again? I forgot his name, but
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. I really hope they bring him in the movie as like they're gonna have to bring in some version of.
He's gonna be Ant-Man, so he'll be.
Yeah, but to keep. Because there's going to be multiple versions of Kang, and it's obvious he's going to be the new big bad of the phase. So I'm really hoping that we see like a variant of Kang or something like that in the movie. There's a lot I'm excited for that film. I'm just...
All right. Now let's move on to our next buy or sell topic is the teaser trailer for the new Lord of the Rings Amazon Prime series. Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power dropped. Now, are we Lord of the Rings fans here? No, not so much?
Yes. Yes. I will say a fan, yes, but I actually like Harry Potter more than Lord of the Rings.
Okay, fair point. I know I know a lot of people are huge fans of Harry Potter as well. So myself included, actually. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the teaser trailer and your excitement for this TV show?
Well, the trailer didn't really show anything. All it did was say, "Hey, we made this cool intro without any CGI. We made it practical." I'm like, "That's cool, but you're not really telling us anything about the show." So just for that, I'm going to sell it, but I am really interested in seeing what they do, especially with like a TV series, considering how grand in scale Lord of the Rings is.
Sorry, go ahead, guys.
I'm going to buy it. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. Hobbit, not as much, but I love Lord of the Rings in particular. I've attempted to read them, but like I love the movies. By the way, if you ever are on a plane and you need some way to fall asleep, listen to the Hobbit audiobook. that thing wins every time. It's great. It's like ambient sound. You're just like, it's great. So I'm gonna buy it.
I'm gonna buy it as well. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. Like they're in my
great.
top 100 of all time. But at the same time, I've only seen them once actually, so I wouldn't consider myself familiar with the lore, which is interesting because I love the movie. It's one of those weird things where I love the movies, but I don't know any. I don't like know any of the locations I don't know any of the lore really.
You have to be in the right mindset or have the time to actually sit down and watch those movies in a row, especially the extended versions, which I've only seen the extended half of the first half of Fellowship of the Ring, the extended version, and all of Two Towers, the extended version.
Yeah, I've seen Return of the King extended, the other ones, the normal versions, but excuse me, regardless, I'm excited about this TV show despite the fact they revealed nothing, so I'm going to buy this.
Yeah,
so
again, I want to clarify for the people out there. I'm excited for the show, but this trailer I'm selling because it didn't tell us shit.
All right, let's now move on to the next piece of news that dropped yesterday. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, has been cast in Ahsoka. It's the first big casting announcement we've gotten for the show. So, buy or sell?
Buy.
I'll buy as well.
I buy the future Mrs. Robinson being. I love. I mean, outside of that, I think outside of the fact that I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead is attractive, I think she is just she's incredibly talented, and especially after seeing her in Birds of Prey.
Yeah, she was the best. She was kind of the
best part of that movie.
Exactly. Like I absolutely loved her as Huntress.
Kind of the only part that really worked for me in that movie.
I like Birds of Prey from beginning to end, but yeah, I'm excited to see what she does in Ahsoka. Some people have wondered, is she playing Hera? And for me, I'm in that mindset of I don't want to identify her with a pre-existing character already. Harrison Dula.
Is it Luke's wife or no?
No, Harrison.
No, that's Mara Jade, I think.
Mara Jade, okay.
Yeah, Harrison Dula is the Twi'lek pilot from Star Wars Rebels.
Oh God, how did I'm an idiot. Shit. God, how did I not remember? I do not remember. I love Rebels. I didn't finish it actually, but I should have remembered that.
But yes, there's some speculation she could be playing that, but all the news, all the outlets that have reported on this have been saying like a secret role. So we'll see what happens.
I'm just waiting for the Thrawn announcement because people are going crazy over the Thrawn. Like once Thrawn is casted, that'll be the point where people really get to pay attention to the show. Especially because as of right now, people loved Ahsoka and Mandalorian, but the show's still a long way from coming to us. Like 2 years, 3 years?
I'm not sure when it does. I don't think it has a set date. It could be next year.
Oh,
again, that's a maybe. Yeah.
With Star Wars, the TV show world is kind of a mess right now. I don't even know what's coming out next. Like Mandalorian season 3, The Apostle, of course, the Rogue Squadron series.
The Acolyte.
The Apostle. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. The Apostle, the Acolyte. But yes, that one I'm excited for. Rogue Squadron got canceled. The one with
did it get canceled? Because I've heard that
indefinitely.
So not canceled, just delayed until
she was in the suit for nothing. Let's put it like that.
I mean, I will say this: the Star Wars TV shows are in a better place than the movies.
Yeah. I would disagree, just because Taika Waititi has his trilogy, which I have a lot of faith in him, so I'm excited for that.
I don't know. For me, after the Rise of Skywalker, it's like Star Wars needs to stay in TV. That's where they're better.
Really?
In my eyes. I mean, because
Mandalorian first 2 seasons were great.
Because I'm a defender.
Oh God!
Of, what
about Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, of course. The best one.
So I'm gonna say I'm a defender of the first 2/3 of the sequel trilogy. Yeah. For me, Rise of Skywalker, it's like that's some.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that because I enjoy the first 2 as well. It's just Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, for me, it's like. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker is just this really terrible fan film that we could just put to the side. We can.
It's like Patton Oswalt spitballing, just talking.
That I feel like that's an insult to Patton Oswalt.
No, it's not. I love Patton Oswalt, but there's Parks and Rec, or that take where he's just going on what his perfect Star Wars film would be, and so it reminds me of that, and I was just kind of like, no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know. Although I'm excited about all the TV shows, Obi-Wan, I don't know, I forgot about that. That's the most excited.
That's the one everyone's excited
any Marvel or DC, but there's something about big screen Star Wars that I miss. And with the Taika Waititi, at the helm, somebody like I really trust. I feel, and not that I don't trust Rian Johnson or J.J. Abrams, but the fact that we're getting one trilogy with one director doing all three is obviously a better.
It's a better sign off.
Yeah, and Taika Waititi's. Sorry, go ahead.
I would say I trust. If I don't know what's going on with what's Rian Johnson's movies. Like apparently
they got canceled as well.
See that outlet. I don't think that was actually. I think that was like premature reporting because no other major outlets have reported that it got canceled. So I think it's just that's on the back burner until further notice. But I trust Rian Johnson with Star Wars more than I trust J.J. Abrams now.
Yeah, I just on the back burner for Star Wars, like for MCU on the back burner, like that's good. For Star Wars on the back burner, like that's not as good of a sign because obviously they're it's so chaotic right now with Lucasfilm that on the back burner like that we could I don't know, it's just a mess right now. But anyway, we're gonna move on now to the final topic, the one I'm actually the most excited about because of the nostalgia that comes with it. It has been reported that a Christmas Story sequel is in development.
Hey, it's Mysterio's sidekick, everyone.
Peter Billingsley set to reprise his role as Ralphie from A Christmas Story. So A Christmas Story is one of my favorite, most nostalgic movies in my entire life. Like most people, I watch every Christmas morning, TBS TNT. It's on 24 hours, and so I have it on my TV in the background on Christmas Day. And so it's going to be on HBO Max, and it's just I'm so excited for this project because A Christmas Story, so much nostalgia. I love that movie, and the fact that they're making a new one so many years after the original with the original. I'm guessing it's a kid when he grows up. It might be set in the 70s. I'm so excited for this. Guys, are you a fan of The Christmas Story, the original? Do you not care? You don't care? I don't care.
I like A Christmas Carol, Christmas Story. That goes to show you how much I don't love A Christmas Story. That I can't even get the name right. For me, this is a hard sell. Like this is a sell where if somebody tried to offer it to me, I'd actually take it and burn it. Because I
that's harsh.
I like A Christmas Story. I don't love it. I just think they're better Christmas.
You're killing this man's childhood.
I'm sorry. Well, also, I'm also just done with the nostalgia thing. Honestly, it's like
I get that.
Like if it's a pre-established franchise, like give me some new stuff. Give me things that I haven't seen before. Yeah. So
stop with the member berries.
I mean, this could for me. I'm wondering if this will actually hold water because I remember back in the day. I can't remember how long it was, but they announced that they'd be doing a sequel to It's a Wonderful Life, and like the only returning cast member they had was the little girl, all grown up, and that
did they announce that?
Yeah, this was like I think maybe 10 years ago, and that never went anywhere.
She's dead now.
No. I feel like that's much more like, it never came about. Like with this one, I mean, obviously I'm not going to say 100% set in stone, but they have Peter Billingsley on as an executive producer, and he was also the star of the original. Like, if you have James Stewart and he's still alive, like, I understand. But little girl who's like a really minor character, she's in like 2 minutes of It's a Wonderful Life. Like, this one I feel like has more like substance behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But, Guy, your thoughts?
I'm a Jew. I don't need this. So. Holiday movie. Why don't you make a Hanukkah movie? I don't. I mean, honestly,
a sequel of 8 Crazy Nights.
Yeah, exactly.
No. No, we do not need that ever.
That movie's an atrocity.
I've never seen it. I've only seen the SNL song.
Don't watch it. It makes us look bad. Let me just know.
I mean, as somebody who's not Jewish, the only thing I can say is that it makes Jack and Jill look like Shakespeare.
I now I kind of want to see it.
It's
because
intriguing.
of your kind of.
It's intriguing.
But I will buy this, like I talked about, nostalgia factor, and I love the first movie overall, so I'm gonna buy this. But that will be the end of the show today. But before we leave, Alexander, where can everyone find you?
All right, so you can find me on YouTube at The Real Mr. Robinson. Also on YouTube, The Real Mr. Robinson's Outdoor Adventures, which that channel is mostly for theme parks and other vlogs in general. Whereas the main channel, The Real Mr. Robinson, is for movie, TV show reviews. You can also find me on Facebook at Alexander Robinson, Twitter, Real Mr. _Robinson, Instagram, The Real Mr. Robinson, and Twitch, Real Mr. Robinson.
Oof. A lot there. But make sure you all follow all those accounts, subscribe to his channel.
I mean, if you just go to the main YouTube channel, you'll find the links to all those.
Guy, where can everyone find you? Subscribe to your channel.
You can find me on YouTube, @_Lego_Figs. I don't know. Sorry to the _ community again. You can also find me on Instagram, @_LegoFigs. You can find me on Letterboxd, @_LegoFigs. Although I'm not going to write anything, so don't expect anything thorough. Just expect like a star review. That's it. That's all I'm doing for you. Sorry.
But you can find us, again, League of Cinephiles on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, like the video. And you can find us on Instagram as well, the League of Cinephiles, with some underscores in there. But you can find us on the League of Cinephiles on Instagram as well, so make sure to follow us there. Thank you all for watching. We should be back to you next week with some awesome movie news. Alexander, thank you for being here. Guy, thank you as always. And as always,
thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. And as always, everyone, ciao.